If you want to have organic growth for your website, that is for Google and other search engines to rank you highly, you need, first of all, great content on your website. There's a rule, or there's a few rules, if you want to attract, build and retain an audience. The best blogs are always answering questions to meet the requirements of a hopefully hungry audience. You should be aiming to be friendly, informative and helpful. Your audience should begin to see you as an expert in your field, a go-to guy, if you like. And the cliche that gets used in blogging and internet marketing circles is that you need to be somebody that people know, like and trust. So those are 4 words that you can bear in mind when you're reviewing what you've written. You know, are you coming across as somebody that people can know, like and trust? There are always discussion about the length of blog posts. Should they be 300 words long, ideally 600 words, 2,000 words? The answer to that is that blog length should be as long as is required to get across all of the points that need to be made, whilst at the same time being succinct and hopefully entertaining as well. Good blogs always ask questions, sometimes challenging or provocative ones, in order to keep the audience tuned in. People love to give their opinions, of course. The right kind of questions: what do you think of that? What are your experiences? How would you do that? And so on. Anything to encourage engagement. Now, as the owner of a blog, you have the option from within WordPress, assuming you're using WordPress, and most people do, to allow commenting from your readers. Obviously you can't engage them if you don't allow commenting. However, if you have comments enabled before you've built an audience, the lack of comments will betray your lack of an audience to new visitors. So you need to gauge when you need to turn comments on, because you know there's nothing worse than having lots of blog posts and at the bottom of the post it says comments 0. It just gives the fact away that you haven't built the audience yet. Next, you need to know your audience. I've said that elsewhere on this site. Some blog authors go as far as creating avatars to help them picture and describe their typical reader. You know, e.g. Mavis is a 40-year-old unmarried librarian living in the south of England, and she enjoys arm wrestling. That kind of thing, building up a picture of who you think it is that's visiting your website. But better than guessing is to run surveys from time to time to try to see who your regular readers really are. And I'll cover surveys and how to run them from your website a little bit later on in this module. Appearance and writing style. To my mind, this comes right back to copywriting skills and knowing how to pull readers into your copy. There's a book that I recommend by the great American copywriter Joe Sugarman called the Adweek Copywriting Handbook, in which he describes how he does, or how he used to do exactly that. Now I'll put a link to that book underneath this video, but he used a thing that he called the slippery slide technique. What it was, it begins with a great headline. You have to have a great headline on any writing that you do, and the idea of the headline plus any picture on the page is to draw people into reading that first line of the copy. And the first line of the copy is delivered to be as enticing as possible, and perhaps then encouraging the person to read the second line. The second line also has to be good, and then you get them to read the third, and then before you know it, they've slipped all the way from the top of the article down to the bottom of the article. That's his famous slippery slide technique, and it's very worthwhile taking a look at that book. And it's because of this slippery slide technique that these days, if you look at any magazine or newspaper article, you'll hardly ever see one that begins with the first paragraph having more than one sentence in it. Two sentences sometimes, but usually the first paragraph of any article now is going to be one sentence, one engaging sentence to try and pull you through to the next paragraph. So that's the slippery slope technique, and I believe that with blogs it's essential to have a great picture on each blog article page, possibly an infographic or else a stock photo that you've purchased for $1 or $2. I buy most of my stock pictures from Photolia, but there are plenty of other options if you look around. Remember to keep the paragraphs short and the words fairly simple. Aim for a reading age of around 10 years. So that's a reading age, not an IQ. In longer pieces, you should also use section headers. This is for two reasons. It's to squeeze keywords into your blog post inside the section headings, but also to break up the page. At a glance, you want your blog post to look bite-sized and easy to consume. Pictures and small paragraphs will do that for you. So I just thought I'd finish this particular video with a quick look at the Copyblogger website. So Copyblogger is a website that gives a lot of hints and tips, and they also give courses on the very important subject of copywriting. So I thought we'd come here and just look at one of their blog posts, and here we have one in front of us. So it begins with a big headline there, and I'm looking at this to pick out a key phrase or a keyword, and I suspect it may well be Shane Snow or also Contently. I'm suspecting that Contently is a well-known website, and probably Shane Snow is somebody that people search for. So there you've got the headline. Then they break it up with a nice picture, and that definitely looks like a professionally constructed image that's come from a stock photography website. Then you go into the body of the text. Notice first paragraph, in fact practically every paragraph, as is typical of copywriters, is just one line long. It's just one sentence there. Look at each paragraph here, they're all very short, just one sentence. I'm looking for a two-sentence one, and I'm not really seeing one so far. They're all one-sentence paragraphs. Notice they're breaking it up with section headings, and again another section heading. So you know that's how you should be getting your blog post to look. Simple, bite-sized, not dense, heavy, tight, small text. It's really opened up, easy to read. You look at the length of it, and it's all over by, actually there's a little bit more than I thought here, but very simple to read. You wouldn't struggle to read that because it's so bite-sized and broken up, dead easy. So that's the kind of thing I suggest that you should be looking to do in terms of appearance for your blogs, making it very easy for people to read.